I'd like to welcome everybody who tuned in to another edition of Treasures. Today's treasure is number 130, and it's called Strike the Ground. What does that mean? We're going to find out. In today's treasure, we'll see what happens when someone is not committed. Committed to what? To his walk with God. Some people say they serve the Lord, but it is only convenient to do so if it doesn't interrupt their plans. Bad mistake. We should all operate and walk in this scripture right here. It's for everybody who's viewing this video. Deuteronomy chapter 6:5, New King James Version. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. What does that mean? If you're truly saved, that means you are making Jesus Christ the Lord of your life. You have to give him your whole heart. It says that. Love your God with all your heart so he can change you. Think about that, my brothers and sisters. Our story today begins in 2 Kings chapter 13, verse 14, New King James Version. Elisha, not Elijah, had become sick with the illness of which he would die. Then Joash, the king of Israel, came down to him and wept over his face and said, "Oh, my father, the chariots of Israel and their horsemen." 2 Kings chapter 13, I'm going to read 15 through 17, New King James Version. And Elisha said to him, "Take a bow and some arrows." So he took himself a bow and some arrows. Then he said to the king of Israel, "Put your hand on the bow." So he put his hand on it, and Elisha put his hands on the king's hands. And he said, "Open the east window." And he opened it. Then Elisha said, "Shoot." And he shot. And he said, "The arrow of the Lord's deliverance and the arrow of deliverance from Syria, for you must strike the Syrians at Aphek till you have destroyed them." Now, the question we must answer is, why did he tell him to face the east? Why did Elisha tell him that? 2 Kings chapter 10, verses 32 and 33, New King James Version. It reads this way: In those days the Lord began to cut off parts of Israel, and Hazazel conquered them in all the territory of Israel, from the Jordan eastward, all the land of Gilead, Gad, Reuben, and Manasseh, from Aroer, which is by the Arnon River, including Gilead with Bashan. So now we see the Syrians were east of Jerusalem. And this arrow was a symbolic prediction that Israel was going to overcome Syria's oppression. It was a pledge that Yahweh God would keep Israel safe. Now pay close attention to what Elisha said to the king. Pay close attention to this. 2 Kings chapter 13, verse 18, New King James Version. Then he said, "Take the arrows." So he took them. And he said to the king of Israel, "Strike the ground." So he struck 3 times and stopped. 3 times. Now we see this king evidently was not committed to God's work of destroying Israel's enemies. And now we'll see why. 2 Kings chapter 13, verse 19, New King James Version. And the man of God was angry with him. And he said, "You should have struck 5 or 6 times. Then you would have struck Syria till you had destroyed it. But now you will strike Syria only 3 times. Could have defeated them permanently." See, he was lackadaisical. He was not committed. So in closing, just let me say this. If a true prophet tells you to do something, go all out for God. The Lord many times, has awakened me out of a sleep at 3 a.m. Remember, God never slumbers or sleeps. And I heard him say, you need to pray for so-and-so or pray for this situation. And you know when I did it, I didn't say, well, let me get 10 more minutes with a sleep, Lord. No, I did it immediately. Immediately. So we have to be totally committed to the God we serve, the true and living God. I pray that this message has helped you, gave you more knowledge. So until we meet again, may the Lord bless you and keep you in 2024.